was my daughter's live-in maid in my own house, until I took my life back. I never thought I would become a stranger in my own home. At 66 years old, I had worked 40 years as a government secretary, raised my daughter Renata alone after her father abandoned us, saved every penny to buy this little 3-bedroom house with my own name on the deed, and paid off the mortgage with pride. This house was my sanctuary, my proof that a single mother could build something lasting. Then 2 years ago, my daughter came knocking with tears in her eyes. "Mom, we lost the apartment. Gustavo got laid off. Please, it'll only be a few months. You're our salvation." Of course I said yes. What mother wouldn't? They arrived with 2 small suitcases, 2 children, Ethan 8 and Valerie 6, and promises that it was temporary. The first weeks were beautiful. The house was alive again. Children's laughter echoed in hallways that had been silent since my husband died. I cooked big dinners. I watched the kids so Renata could job hunt. Gustavo fixed a leaky faucet. We felt like a family. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, the balance shifted. First it was, "Mom, can you watch the kids just today?" Then it became every day. Then it became, "You're retired anyway. What else do you have to do?" My yes turned into expectation. My help turned into obligation. My love turned into labor. And one Tuesday afternoon, my 34-year-old daughter handed me a printed schedule, like I was a new hire at a hotel. "Starting tomorrow, these are your new responsibilities in this house." It wasn't a discussion. It was an order. From 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., every hour of my day was accounted for. Wake up, make breakfast, dress the kids, clean the house, do laundry, prepare lunch, pick up the kids, cook dinner, iron clothes for the next day. Weekends were reserved for deep cleaning and meal prep for the entire week. I stood frozen in my own living room holding that piece of paper, my hands shaking. Gustavo didn't even look up from his phone. Obviously, this includes paying all the bills. That's what your pension is for, right? Renata painted her nails bright pink and added without looking at me, "If you don't agree, Mom, you can leave. We've been here over 2 years and maintaining the house. Gustavo talked to a lawyer. We have rights. You can be our employee and stay, or you can go. Your choice." My own child was blackmailing me in the house I bought with 40 years of blood and sweat. She blew on her wet nails. "At your age, where else are you going to live on $600 a month? At least here you have a roof, food, and you get to see your grandkids every day." Gustavo laughed from the couch. "Let's be realistic, honey. What else are you going to do with your life? This way you'll feel useful." Useful. That word lodged in my throat like broken glass. My grandchildren played on the floor with their tablets, oblivious. Ethan looked up. "Grandma, can I have a snack? I'm hungry." To them, I was already the help. That night, I lay in the bed I had slept in for 30 years and stared at the ceiling. I remembered carrying newborn Renata into this room. I remembered crying in this bed when her father left. I remembered every sacrifice that had gone into keeping this roof over our heads. And now I was being told I could either become their unpaid, full-time domestic worker, or lose everything. I didn't sleep. The next weeks were hell disguised as routine. I woke at 5:45 a.m. to make breakfast before anyone stirred. I dressed the kids, dropped them at school, came home, cleaned, did laundry, shopped with my pension money, cooked, cleaned again, helped with homework, bathed the kids, cooked dinner, cleaned the kitchen, ironed, collapsed into bed at midnight, only to do it all again. My furniture was ruined. My photos were replaced with movie posters. My books were boxed in the garage to make room for their gaming consoles. They decided I should move to the tiny back room, the old storage room with a single bed, so they could have the master bedroom with the bigger closet. "It'll be easier for you to get up early without waking anyone," Gustavo said. They turned Sundays, my sacred family day, into their family day. I was told to leave the house so they could bond without me. "There are parks, church, friends, plenty for a woman your age to do," Renata said sweetly. I had nowhere to go. Then came Gustavo's mother, Marissa. She arrived unannounced one Monday at 5:45 a.m. with 2 huge suitcases and a list of dietary demands longer than my grocery receipt. Gustavo had forgotten to tell me she was coming for an indefinite stay. That same week, Renata and Gustavo went on a much-needed couples retreat at a downtown hotel. Paid for with the bonus he supposedly earned working 3 hours a day from home, while I stayed with the kids, deep cleaned the house, and spent my entire pension on groceries and cleaning products so everything would be perfect when they returned. I was breaking. And then one Sunday afternoon, my neighbor Lucy called. "Are you okay? You look haunted." I broke down in my kitchen and told her everything. When I showed her the schedule, her face went white. "This isn't family, darling. This is abuse. This is elder exploitation." For the first time, someone said the words out loud. She held my hands. "You own this house. You have a pension. You are not helpless. They need you, you do not need them." That was the moment the crack appeared in the dam. The next morning, when Marissa screamed because I had no eggs for her very dry, oil-free, lightly toasted breakfast, and Gustavo threatened to reconsider living arrangements, if I couldn't fulfill basic duties, I smiled. "I'll go to the supermarket right now," I said calmly. But I didn't go to the supermarket. I went to an ATM, withdrew $200 from my emergency savings. Then I walked into the law office of David Miller, elder law specialist. An hour later, I walked out with 3 legal letters and something I hadn't felt in years, power. I came home at 11 a.m. empty-handed. Renata and Marissa were furious. "Where have you been?" "I haven't eaten." "We need to talk," I said. "Sit down." I placed the letters on the coffee table. "I've been to a lawyer. These are formal notices." Renata snatched hers. Her face drained of color as she read. $800 per month rent, market rate for a room. 50% of all utilities and groceries. Full respect for my privacy and authority as homeowner. 30 days to accept or vacate. Marissa's letter was simpler. 48 hours to leave. She was never invited. Gustavo came home early raging. "This is betrayal. After everything we've done for you." I looked him in the eye. "You've done nothing but take. Now you have a choice. Pay your way like adults, or leave like tenants." They tried everything. Guilt. "You'll never see your grandchildren." Anger. "We'll fight you in court." Fake tears. "How can you do this to your own daughter?" I didn't budge. David had prepared me for every tactic. 30 days later, they moved out. They found an apartment immediately. Funny how money appears when you have to pay a stranger instead of exploiting your mother. Marissa went to a senior living facility. I heard she complains daily that the staff isn't as obedient as I was. The silence in my house the first morning they were gone was the most beautiful sound I'd ever heard. I woke up at 7:15 a.m. because I wanted to. I made coffee in my favorite flowered mug, the one Renata had claimed. I ate toast sitting at my own table, reading a book without interruption. I bought myself flowers, $15 that used to go to organic cookies or Gustavo's special beer. I cried in the checkout line because they were mine. I redecorated slowly. My photos went back on the walls. My books came out of the garage. I joined a senior dance class. At 66, I learned to salsa. I laughed so hard my sides hurt. My grandchildren visit every other Saturday now, on my terms. I pick them up. We go to the park, the movies, the museum. I spoil them rotten for 8 glorious hours, then send them home happy and exhausted. I am their grandmother again, not their maid. And when Valerie asked, "Grandma, why don't you live with us anymore?" I knelt down and said, "Because I love you too much to let you grow up thinking it's okay to treat people who love you like servants. Love doesn't demand slavery. Love says thank you. Love respects boundaries." She hugged me tight. "I like coming to your house better now. You smile more." 3 months after they left, David called. "All claims withdrawn. The house is legally, completely, irrevocably yours. No one can ever do this to you again." I hung up the phone and danced, badly, joyfully, around my living room. I am 66 years old. I own my home. I own my time. I own my dignity. And I will never, ever give them away again. To every grandmother, mother, father, or anyone being told that love means silent suffering, hear me. It is never too late to stand up. It is never too late to say, "This is my house. These are my rules. This is my life." True family lifts you up. They do not push you down and call it help. I took my life back, and it was the best thing I ever did. If this story moved you, share it. Someone out there needs to hear that they are not alone, and that they are stronger than they know. With love, Auntie Mae, formerly known as Grandma, Maid ATM.